Stocks sent news writers to the thesaurus today looking to explain the Dow's 890-point drop. That's more than 2%. The S&P 500 fell 2.7%, and the Nasdaq took a 4% plunge, the worst day in 2.5 years for the index known for its technology stocks. Why? Take your pick. Price increases from tariffs, recession fears from a drop in consumer spending, the chilling effect of chaos in Washington on CEO decision-making. It all could be a factor. Adding to the uncertainty, a multi-billion-dollar deadline at the end of the week to keep the government open. This is Speaker Mike Johnson's life. He's got President Donald Trump's backing, but a very narrow margin to pass his preferred short-term funding bill by midnight Friday. And that's just in the House. The Senate, it's a different matter. Our congressional correspondent, Nikole Killion, joins us from Capitol Hill to help us understand some of this. Nikole, start us off with what's in Speaker Johnson's bill.
Well, basically, this is a bill that would fund the government at roughly the same funding levels as the last fiscal year through September of this year. It includes some modest increases in defense spending by about $6 billion, although it cuts non-defense spending by about $13 billion. It does, however, include some increases in funding for veterans health care and ICE.
And this is just to keep the kind of lights on. There's this other separate massive budget fight we won't get into. But on this idea of keeping the government going, does he have the support from his members with that very narrow margin in the House?
Well, Republican leadership feels pretty confident that they can get this over the finish line. So far, we only know of one no vote, and that is Kentucky's Tom Massie. What's different about this funding fight is that Democrats simply aren't on board. Usually they help out and vote overwhelmingly for these short-term bills or continuing resolutions. But tonight, Leader Hakeem Jeffries said that this is a bill that Democrats simply can't support, in part because they believe some of these cuts go too far.
So let's imagine it gets out of the House, which basically means Johnson can't lose any more votes, pretty much. Goes to the Senate, different ball game. Tell us what the situation looks like there.
Yeah, well, there was a leadership meeting this evening on Capitol Hill, and Senate Democrats emerged from that pretty tight-lipped, not really tipping their hand one way or another if they will support this measure. Many of them are taking a wait-and-see approach. So far, the only one who seems on board is Pennsylvania's John Fetterman, who has made clear that he will not be a part of any vote to shut down the government.